right, it's the brother Shalom, it's the brother Barzal, and
Shalom, it's the brother Tobias.
All right, we want to start out by giving all praises to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shah. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, and a Shalom to all the Akim out there pushing the word in sincerity and in truth. And we just going to jump into prophecy, all right? Because this is the major thing that we should be observing and magnifying, all right? Us as prophets and men of the Lord, our main occupation that the Most High called us, like it tells you, was that Galatians, the 4th chapter, the vocation which we are called is to be prophets, to prophesy, all right? When you read about Jeremiah, Isaiah, Baruch, you know, Yahweh Shah first and foremost, the other men of the Lord, the other prophets, their main thing was to go out and to push prophecy, all right? So we got a couple of scriptures, you know, basically supporting, you know, basically what we're saying in the spirit, because that's very, very important in the times that we live in. You know, we're living in high times where the society is going downhill. So our job as prophets is to be watchmen and forewarn the men of the Lord of the coming destruction that's occurring, so that they can gather in for this destruction that's about to take place. All right, so the brother's going, you can start with that 2nd Ezra 9.
2nd Ezra chapter 9 verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself.
Right, the Lord told Ezra, measure thou the time diligently in itself. When you measure something, it's something that you're basically giving an estimate to, all right? From times, basically, from the beginning, the midst, and to the end, that's basically the time measurement that the Most High is telling Ezra, all right? To measure thou the time diligently in itself. So as a prophet, you have to be also a master of time, man. You have to observe the times, all right? You have to basically play on the times of what's going on and be current. All right, when you look at the news media, they always go into what? Current events. They go into different things of that because they're measuring the times and the events that's taking place so that they can basically forewarn the people. And us as spiritual news reporters, we're reporting what news? The news that America is about to on its way out. The infrastructure is declining drastically. The monetary system is basically falling. All right, the whole society, and you know it, is crumbling and is shattering to pieces. World War III, which is written in the scriptures and Revelations, all right, that John wrote about. That's very, very soon to come, all right? The Battle of Armageddon, all these different things are taking place. So that's what we should be, as prophets of the Lord, speaking about. All right, it's not a time to be dancing and parading and making music videos and all that foolishness, man. The prophet's main job is a strict job, and it's to push out prophecy, all right? Keep going.
And when thou sawest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before.
Right, which we seen parts of the signs past in this particular kingdom, just as Ezra saw. All right, we seen the prophecies of America coming about, like it tells you in the book of Daniel, the three horns, and the big horn basically taking down the other horns. All right, the kingdom of the beast, you know, basically coming together and trotting down the Israelites and putting us in captivity, like it says in Revelations, the 9th chapter. You know, all these different situations and prophecies already came to pass. Majority of the prophecies have been fulfilled. All right, when you read Revelations and Daniel and Ezra, the major books of prophecy, Jeremiah and Isaiah, those prophecies are, a lot of those prophecies already been fulfilled. But the main prophecies that we're supposed to be magnifying as prophets is the prophecy of what? The mark of the beast, the Armageddon. All right, World War III. All right, the coming collapse of America, which is known as Babylon the Great. And how is America going to be taken out of this place? The judgment of America, according to the scriptures, it says that America is going to be destroyed by thermonuclear missiles. All right, so that's what we should be observing and pushing out on the forefront, because we in them times now, man. Like I said, the part of the prophecies already passed. Keep going.
Then should thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
See, the Most High, through Yahweh Shah, he's going to come back and visit this world. And is he going to visit it with niceness? No. He said that he's going to come over and basically rule with a rod of iron. He's going to come with strict judgment. All right? He's going to take down our enemies, which is the so-called white men, the Edomites, recorded in the scriptures, and all the nations that trod upon us. That's when us as a nation, us being, you know, at our lowest point, that's when we'll be redeemed by the Redeemer Yahweh Shah. All right, so that's what we should be pushing out, and that's the gospel. That's what we should be comforting one another. Like the scripture says, comfort ye one another with my words. We're not supposed to be comforting each other with no damn lullabies and stuff, man. Oh, happy days and that Christian mentality, man. Things will get better. No, we as prophets of the Lord hope for things to get worse. With Jeremiah 28:8. All right, and things are gonna continue to get worse. All right, if you ain't got a job, you're gonna stay without a job. All right, you may get you a little job here and there, but it's gonna keep going downhill. This place is on its way out of here, man. And we're gonna continue chanting the same rhythm, so to speak, until this place crumbles. That's the job of a prophet. All right, you got that Jeremiah 28:8. All right, just like in the time of Joshua, when they were to take down Jericho, what was the mission that the Most High put in the words of Joshua and the assembly of men around them? To march around Jericho, blow that trumpet. All right, and at the end of the 13th march, which was, if I'm not mistaken, the 7th day, they were to blow the trumpet and give a loud shout. And after they gave that shout, what happened? The walls of Jericho shattered, all right, completely, and it was all for the spoil of the Israelites. So that's the same thing now. We're basically marching around this place, all right, the prophets and the men of the Lord throughout the four corners of the earth, preaching the gospel, all right, blowing the trumpet. Scripture says that, Isaiah the 58th chapter, blow the trumpet, cry aloud. And when, and we keep doing that, we see the results of this kingdom, man. It's shattering right through the words of the Most High's mouth through his prophets, all right? Get that?
Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old.
Yeah, see, Jeremiah said the prophets that have been before him. Keep going.
Prophesied both against many countries.
So that's what the prophets did. They prophesied against many countries. When Jeremiah was in the Babylonian kingdom, was he looking for a nice Babylonian occupation? Was he looking to rise up in the society that he was living in? All right. Was he looking to finance chariots and agriculture and look to build the empire of Babylon? No. His job was to tear down Babylon. All right, through the words of his mouth. All right.
Moses as well, too.
Moses as well.
He said he would use Moses as a god and Levi as a prophet.
Hey, Aaron, yeah. That's exactly what it is. Like the brother just said, when Moses was in Egypt, Moses told the Pharaoh, he's seen Pharaoh face to face, and told him, let my people go. All right, Isaiah, same thing. Yahweh Shah, same thing. The Acts of the Apostles, Paul, Luke, John, James, all the disciples and the men of the Lord, they kept the same occupation until this day now. All right, so we as prophets of the Lord, we have to do the same thing. Push the energy to crumble this place, man. This is a heavy job, and through our words, we actually shatter this place. All right. So this vibration that the Most High actually is allowing us to drink and eat of, we have to push it out likewise, man. But this place is real. The words and the prayers and the energy and vibration that we push it out, just as the walls of Jericho. Just as the time of Jericho with Joshua is actually shattering this place. Whether you see it or not, but it's in the spirit, all right? Read that over.
Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence.
Right. When Jeremiah was in the time of Babylon, he prophesied amongst war and evils and pestilences, all right? And what happened about to Babylon? They got destroyed, all right? Through the words of Jeremiah, Isaiah, and the previous prophets that were actually, whether major or minor prophets that was in the host of that kingdom, all right? Which was basically of the assembly of the prophets. It's the same thing now, all right? You can end it with Jeremiah, the 5th chapter, because this is a very important job, man. It's Saturday, it's a lot of men that so-called Israelites, but what they want to do? YouTube, man. They want to chill in the luxury of their home and sip tea, all right? Basically not do anything, sit on their ass and hide their tongue under a napkin. That's why the Most High say he's going to visit his sanctuary first, man. The Israelites that so-called know that they're Israelites, all right? Know the truth, And they just sitting on it not wanting to push it, man. Because of whether embarrassment, whether just complete laziness. All right, it's a lot of things that a lot of guys not doing, man. That's why even us as prophets of the Lord, we prophesy against other prophets, men that's supposed to fall under the lines of being prophets, man. False prophets. All right, you got that?
Jeremiah chapter 5, verse 1. The judgment of the Most High. Oh, yeah. Jeremiah chapter 5, verse 1. Run ye to and fro. Run ye to and fro through the streets of Jerusalem.
Yep. Run ye to and fro through the streets of Jerusalem. So that's our job. When we pick up this word and we learn the word, we go out and preach. All right. Just like when Yahweh Shah came to Peter and the other disciples, he told them, all right, I'm gonna make you fishers of men. You're no longer gonna be fishers. All right, regular basic men that's actually occupied in a society, I'm gonna make you of the occupation of the Lord. All right, which is the greatest occupation of all, man. And we should be occupied with, knowing that this is our occupation, prophecy. All right, keep going.
And see now and know and seek in the broad places thereof.
See, seek in the broad places thereof. And another reason why we push this truth is to wake up the hopeful elect. All right, that's another reason that prophets prophesy, to condemn the kingdoms and to raise up the righteous people that's basically smothered in the kingdom, man. The lost sheep. All right, how do we find the lost sheep? Pushing the Most High's voice. The Lord said his sheep hear his voice, but the only way the sheep can hear his voice is through the words of man preaching it. All right, first starting off with our apostles, elders, and their elders, you know, that push the truth. All right, and we're doing the same thing. We're pushing that same wave for the other brothers that haven't, you know, heard the word and ran into it. For that seed to be planted, for them to grow up from being regular, you know, so-called U.S. citizens to being men of the Lord. You know, taking off that old man and being raised up as a king and priest of Yahweh Shah, pushing and taking his place down through the words of the Lord, man, through his sword. Keep going.
And seek in the broad places thereof, if he can find a man, if there be any that executed judgment.
See, like it tells you in Ezekiel 9 and 4. So that's what we're doing. We're actually out here observing and looking. All right, we're pushing this truth out as bait to gather. All right, gather the hopefully elect. All right. So you know that's all we had. You know, and of course we sounded like a broken record. You know, pushing prophecy. Hey, but the scriptures, it's thousands of times where prophecy was written in the scriptures. So that's very important. All right, the Lord beats things into your mind so that you can always have that in your mentality, man. You know, it's scripture, not the scriptures, but it's an old saying that repetition is the mother of skill, or it's the father of learning. So it's all about prophecy and pushing out the spirit of Yahweh Shah. So we want to end it by giving all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shah. Double honors to the apostles and elders and great millstone. Shalom, Akim.
Shalom.